Welcome to Money, Manifestation, and Business, the podcast that shows you how to use your energy, intention, and consciousness to reprogram your money mindset, unleash a new level of possibility, and create a life and business that lights you up. I'm your host, Jamie Berman, and I invite you to join me each week for a dose of inspiration, coaching, and teachings to help you rewrite your money story, create abundance on your terms, and grow your business in a way that's fully aligned for you. This is going to be so much fun. Let's dive in. Today's episode is a fun one because I am going to be talking about 5 different ways you can get started with manifesting. And you're going to love this episode if you are a newbie to manifestation and you want to dive into it, you want to learn more about it. But you're also going to love it if you're a seasoned manifester and you want to just get back to the basics and have some reminders of some of those things that you can do that are super effective. In fact, these are good reminders for me who loves and lives manifestation, right? So I'm going to be talking about 5 different things that you can do or practice to help with your process. And I wanted to create this episode, number 1, for those of you who are new to manifestation. But like I said, to those seasoned manifestors, for a little reminder. And also wanted this episode to be something that you could share with your friends, your family, a loved one. If you have people in your world who are interested in manifestation, or maybe you think, I want to manifest with those in my world. I want to manifest with my family, or I want to manifest with my partner. You can share this episode and use some of the practices that I give you to do this together. So a lot of these things, of course, you can always do them on your own, and I do them on my own all of the time, but I also will bring my husband into it and we will do it together. In fact, some of them are fun things that we can do on like a date night or a hike together where we're talking about it and using some of these practices to manifest what it is we really want. And for us, it really strengthens our relationship, and it's a really positive thing that brings us together. And I have to say, it's not like my husband was always into manifestation. He was very, He was very skeptical in the beginning, even though we all manifest all the time, right? He just didn't understand it. He thought it was super woo-woo or out there or didn't make a lot of sense, which is very similar to most people. But here's the thing that I want to mention is that when I talk about manifestation, it is really just the process of creating. It's the process of creating on purpose. That is how I'm referring to it. And as humans, we are all creators, right? We want to create and experience different things in life. And when I say, hey, let's manifest, it's just, what do we want to create on purpose? It's getting intentional about the lives that we want to have and really creating a blueprint for that. And then from there, acting on that and moving towards that. So it really is just the process of creation. And of course, now so many scientists and studies have shown us the power of our mind and the power of using our mind intentionally in a way that helps us create these things, right? And using our mind and our feelings and working on our nervous system and really calming our nervous system and learning that, of course, the actions that we take and the habits that we have create the reality for ourselves. And this is all a piece of manifestation. But what I love is bringing in to the actions that we take and to the habits that we cultivate, how the power of our mind can really help us create what it is we most want. And how do we utilize that precious mind of ours in a way that serves us, right? And for me personally, ever since I've learned about manifestation, which for me started in my early 20s, I have to say it's one of the things that helps me with my mental health the most. I am somebody who has a propensity to have anxiety and depression. And I just have a very active mind. And so using manifestation and dropping in and practicing some of these techniques that I am going to be offering to you today really helps me with that. Because when we're actively and consciously manifesting a reality that we want, it's like the opposite of worrying. So what we're doing is we're thinking, what are the outcomes that I want? What is the life that I want? What is the vision that I have for myself? What's the best case scenario? What would be amazing, right? And what we're doing is we're consciously taking our mind there. So it literally counteracts worry and anxiety. And I have seen that. I have seen the effects of it. It also, for me, helps me with depression, which is something that I have been diagnosed with in my life, and something that is something that I have been challenged by, and I can tend to dip in and out of depending on what's going on with my life and where I'm at. And manifestation has helped with that, because I find that whenever I get myself into I don't even want to say get myself into, whenever I find myself in a depressed state, what I tend to be focusing on is kind of like the past, what's going wrong, how bad my energy is, how hard it is to get up, how hard it is to have energy. So what I'm focusing on just brings me down further. But whenever I tap into some of these practices and tap into manifestation, it does the opposite, because it's very future focused, and it gives me some light. It gives me some hope, and it really helps to counteract some of that, depression, anxiety. And like I said, it helps me with my mental health. That is why, just like meditation, I also practice manifestation and practice thinking on purpose and cultivating the life that I want on purpose and visualizing what it is that I want for each day on purpose, because it literally shifts my energetic state, and I feel it. I feel the difference. So if you also struggle with your mental health, notice the difference it makes whenever you start bringing in some of these practices and techniques. It's really life-changing. And I know everyone's different. I am not a mental health advisor. I am just a certified life coach. I don't want to say just a certified life coach, but I have not extensively studied mental health, but I am just speaking from experience, having gone through my own struggles. And I just want to reflect that I've seen it make such a difference. And I've seen the difference it's made for my clients too. So it certainly can't hurt to give these a try. Okay, so I'm going to go through 5 different things that you can do to start your manifestation process. And I have my own unique process that I kind of created based upon what I see working for me and what I've seen working for my clients. And I call this the soulful manifestation process. And the very first step is creating the vision. It's getting crystal clear on what you want. This is the step that I literally think takes you 50% there. And I'm not even kidding. This is the step that so many people forget to take, that they forget to tap into. And it literally is the seeds that you are planting, right? And of course, you have to nourish the seeds. You have to take care of them. You get to watch them grow, but you can't have the life that you want without planting the right seeds, or without planting seeds at all. You have to decide what it is you want and get clear on it. And in fact, studies show that people who write down their goals, write down their desires, write where they want to be, end up manifesting or creating those things at a much higher rate than those that don't write their goals down, right? In fact, it's 42% higher of a chance that you will create that goal if it is written down. Why is that? Because when you write something down, you are declaring it not only to the piece of paper you're writing it down, but to yourself, to your subconscious. Our subconscious mind is so powerful. It wants to know, where are we headed? And declaring our goals and deciding and writing them down helps with that so much. I literally think of it as plugging it into the GPS system of the universe. It's plugging that destination in. How are you going to know where to go if you don't have anything plugged into your GPS, especially if it's a new place, which many of our manifestations are something we've never created before. So it's very important, and it makes all the difference to the subconscious mind when we plug it in, when we write it down. And if you don't believe me, look up the studies that show what chance do people have of achieving their goal whenever they write it down. Look at all the studies. There are studies that were done at universities and things that really show the power of doing this. And so we're going to talk about 5 different ways to take that step 1 of manifesting, which is getting crystal clear on what you want and declaring it for yourself, setting that goal, deciding on what it is. And I am not saying you have to do this in a way that's rigid, that's harsh, with strict timelines, in a way that's going to feel bad or pressure filled. I like to do this in a way that feels light and joyful and fun, without much pressure, without timelines on it all, but just knowing in my lifetime, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to experience. These are some of the ways that I want to feel in my life. This is the vacation that I want to take. I want to experience this kind of situation, right? Whatever it is, right? Or I want to have this kind of impact in my life. I feel so called to share this thing. When we write it down, it makes all the difference. So here are 5 different ways you can get started with step 1 of manifesting, which I think literally takes you like 50% there. Because without this, your chances of creating it go way, way down. Okay, number 1. Hi, friend, let me ask you something. Are you ready to up level your money mindset and really release the things that have been holding you back? Release your limitations and your money blocks and that self-doubt and imposter syndrome that's been coming up for you, that's getting in the way of creating more abundance and more impact in your business. If so, I have the perfect opportunity for you that you're going to absolutely love. So mark your calendars for September 20th and 21st, because I am hosting my first ever abundance retreat live in San Diego, California. So we're going to come together and we are going to do the inner and outer work to create more abundance in your life. And I absolutely cannot wait for this. So picture it, me, you, and a group of soulful entrepreneurs coming together, doing a combination of coaching and other fun activities that are going to help you shift your energy and shift your money mindset in a massive way. My past retreat participants have said things like, I feel like I got 6 months of coaching in 2 days, because it's an immersive and a transformational experience. And it's so much fun. The people who come to these are amazing, and there's so much connection and networking that happens. And I just want to invite you in. And right now we have our early bird discount. So you can get some money off. All you have to do is go to the show notes and register. And I will see you in San Diego in September. It's going to be so much fun. Creating a bucket list. This is huge. Writing down your bucket list. And I like to think of, what are 100 different things that I want to experience, feel, have? What would I love to share? What's the impact that I want to create in the world? Like, I just like to ask myself those kinds of questions, right? What kind of money do I want to create in this life? Like, all the things. Think about, what are 100 different things that I would love to have or experience in the next 30 years, say. You can put the timeline that you want, but I like to think like over the next, I like to give myself a big chunk of time and think of 100 different things. Now, you can even do more than 100, but I do recommend doing at least 100 and getting a bunch of ideas down, because the more specific we are, the more likely we will create those things, right? If you just say, I want to manifest more money to the universe, that's like, okay, maybe one more cent, right? Maybe that's an extra $1. That's more money. But if you get more specific and how much do I want to be making in this lifetime? How much do I want to have in retirement by the time I'm retired? Where do I want to be, right? And that's just with money, but also why do I want to have that kind of wealth? Why do I want to have that kind of money? What kind of difference is that going to make? What would I love to experience? How do I want to be generous with it? What do I want to give to? What causes matter to me? In what way do I want to create this money? What kind of impact do I want to have? Like, write everything down that you would love to experience in this lifetime. And one of the things that I like to think about is my future self, the me that's on my deathbed. And I like to think, okay, if I'm going to that future self, what do I want to look back on my life and say, I did that. I experienced that. I had that. I savored that. I tried that, right? Oh, I created that kind of value. Oh my gosh, I made this impact in the world. Like, what are the gifts that you want to give to your future self, that you at the end of your life, what is it you want that version of you to be able to look back and say, wow, I did that, and make yourself a bucket list. Now, as I shared, this is something that you can do in partnership or with your kids or your family or friends, right? You can talk about this. And I love bringing people who are open to it into it, right? So it's so fun to do this with a partner. In fact, me and my husband, just yesterday, we're taking a walk in our neighborhood. We did like a 3-mile walk with our dog. And we were just both talking about what are some of the things on our bucket list that we haven't talked about yet? What are some of the things that we haven't shared? Let's get really specific, right? And it was so funny because his were all like travels in cold places. He's like, I'd love to go to Switzerland and go on a train through the mountains in the cold, snowy weather. And I said, I would love to go to the Caribbean and be really hot. He's like, okay, it's a hot and cold thing. We're going to definitely have a mix of things that we're experiencing together. But it was really fun because we were trying to stretch ourselves and think about things that we hadn't talked about to each other yet. Or just even like more specifically, ooh, why do you care about that? Why would that be so fun to go to Switzerland in the winter, right? What do you love about that? And it really helps bring positive, exciting conversation into it. This is something me and my husband love doing, even like on dates, where we say those games like, would you rather go here or here? Or if you could have any dessert right now in the entire world, what would you have, right? We're always asking like questions like that. It's kind of like a game and it's fun, but it's also very positive and uplifting and helps us create our lives together and get to know each other on an even deeper level, year after year. So that one's a lot of fun to do with other people. But again, it's also something that I would recommend you have written down, write it down in your manifestation journal, which brings me to number 2, which is having a manifestation journal. I highly, highly recommend that you have a journal that's specifically for manifesting. Or like me, I now have it's like a digital notebook, and I have a whole section on manifesting. And so I love to just like jot down the things that I want to manifest or the things that I want to create. Any ideas that come to me, ooh, I want to go to this concert. I want to do this thing. And it might be short term, but it also might be something like long term, but it's something that I pull out consistently and really train my brain to think about creation and train my brain to think about what I'm most excited about and what I want to create. Because I think when we don't pull out that manifestation journal, we don't often think about it, right? So I've really trained my brain to think about cultivating experiences on purpose, cultivating feelings on purpose, really diving into when I take this vacation, how do I actually want to feel? What's the experience that I want to have? How can I be really present with this? And I get really intentional about it. And I find that when I do that, the chances of it happening go up so much higher. And I just feel like I'm living my life on purpose versus at the whim of circumstances and at the whim of, I don't know, my primitive brain, which is, it's a primitive brain, let's be real. So I highly recommend having a manifestation journal as well. And again, I'm giving you 5 different things, but you don't have to do all of them. These are just ideas. You can do all 5, but I would definitely recommend just starting with at least one. So number 1 was bucket list. Number 2 is having a manifestation journal where you write down your desires. The other one that I would recommend is, of course, one that you've probably think about or have heard of if you think of manifestation, and that is to have a vision board, create a vision board. I love vision boards because they are so powerful. I have created so many, and my mind has consistently been blown because I look back at old vision boards and it's like, whoa. I've literally seen like, oh my gosh, this is the house that I intended. This looks just like it. The house that I'm living in now looks so much like the images that I had on my vision board, my past vision board a while ago, right? And just a number of things that are really synchronistic that were on my vision board and somehow actually came to play out in such an interesting way. And so I just wholeheartedly believe in the power of them. That's why at my last manifestation retreat, everyone made vision boards, and I have my clients make vision boards. And I just see time and time again, things manifesting from their vision board. It's so powerful. And again, like our subconscious mind is beyond powerful. This is where it comes back to the power of our minds to create. And when we have a visual of what it is we're creating, it's so much easier for our subconscious mind to see that and lock it in. And also, even if you don't even believe in the power of energy and manifestation, what can happen is when you actually have a vision of the end result you want, the chances of you acting towards that go up so much more, right? Because you're seeing that, that's where you want to go. So you just start taking action towards that. And it's a reminder of where you're going. So even if you don't believe in the woo-woo stuff and the power of your subconscious mind and all of that, right? If you think about it, if you know where you're going, the chances of you acting towards that and starting to move towards it go up so much more. So I recommend creating a vision board for yourself. And again, I like to put all different things on there, right? I like to put specifics. I also like to put the feelings that I kind of want to step into and move into. And every year I pick a word of the year. I'll put that word in the middle of the vision board just to remind me of what it is I'm stepping into that year. But yeah, you can get really specific. You can also make it more of a feeling vision board if you want, where it's just like has the colors of what you want to feel or what you want to express, and bring a little bit of that in there. It can be abstract, right? It can be both specific and abstract, having a bit of just the feeling that you want to move into, and also some really specific images of things that you want to create and experience, and can have mantras on there, beliefs that you want to step into. All of that stuff is totally welcome. And another fun thing now that you can create like a digital vision board, right? You can go in Canva and just collect images and then put them together and just print it. It's super easy, super fast. I still like doing it old school way where I print all the images out and cut them out and even look in magazines. And I have like a very, old school vision board, but I've also done the digital ones where I just go in Canva, I create a cool collage, I put pictures together. I've even done one where it's like the size of my phone. So I do it as the screenshot in the background of my phone. I've also done one where I create that collage in Canva and then upload it onto a customized coffee mug so that I'm drinking my coffee every morning looking at my vision board. It's super cool. So there's so many different things that you can do that are super fun now. There's so many different things that you can customize on like Zazzle.com, all kinds of different sites, right? But that's the one I think I created the coffee mug on, and it's fun, right? And it just watch the power of it. Just be open. That's all I would recommend, is be open, and it's fun. And again, this is something you can bring your friends and family partner into if they're open and if they want to. You could have a vision board party. It's so fun. I've done that with friends as well. And it's just a great way to start conversation and it's a fun activity to do. So highly recommend it. Okay, number 4 is writing what I call an ideal scenario out. This is going to be great if you're a writer, and if you just like writing. It's also probably the fastest thing that you can do of all of the practices that I've given you. So writing out an ideal scenario is like writing from your future as if it is in the present tense. And you write down, it's like a day in the life of you, let's say 5 years from now or 3 years from now. It doesn't actually matter. You can pick what it is. Or maybe you have a speaking engagement and you want to write down how you feel that day and what your experience is like, whatever it is, or something that you really want to soak in the experience of. I did this for my wedding, right? But you can do it for anything. You're basically taking a day in your life in the future and deciding on purpose now what it's going to be like. And you write from I am experiencing this. I am loving this. I am noticing this. Today, I am feeling this. I am really soaking in the goodness of this, whatever it is. And you're just writing it out as if it's that day, and you're writing in your journal, and you're writing from the you at the end of the day who's writing out exactly how the experience was. Now that is super powerful too. And I've done this tons and tons of times. And this is the one that I tend to do, I would say, most often, right? Because like a vision board is great to do every year. You could do one every 6 months. I tend to do one every year. But I really like to write down ideal scenarios whenever I have something kind of big coming up that maybe I would normally be concerned about or worried about. And it helps me get into a good headspace around it and set some intentions around it. And when I do this, I see that, like I said, most of the time it works out like my vision. Not 99% of the time, because of course, and actually, I don't even want to say of course, but I want to share that one of the things that I do at the end of everything that I intend, everything that I manifest, is I say this or something even better for the highest good of all concerned. And sometimes it doesn't play out exactly like my vision or in the timeline that I envision, right? Because not everything's going to go always exactly as planned, but I always like to put this or something even better. And I know that if it doesn't work out, I'm going to learn from it. It's going to like give me something that's even better than what that vision would have. And that I wholeheartedly believe. So I recommend doing that at the end of everything, whether it's your bucket list, your vision board, your manifestation journal, your ideal scenario. The 5th one is doing a visualization, like a meditation where you visualize where you are headed, right? So for some of you who tend to be really good at visualizing or like to meditate and like to kind of imagine a scene in your mind, that is another great way to start manifesting. You can put some good music on, or you can do a guided manifestation meditation. And you can find those like on YouTube, or, that's probably the best place to find one. And you can start to like really see it in your mind and visualize it. And that is another way to imprint it into your subconscious. So if you see, athletes, they do this very, very consistently. Many athletes practice visualization before they do a run or before they have a game or whatever it is, because there's so much power to seeing it ahead of time. And with all 5 of these techniques, that's what this is about, is just seeing it ahead of time, deciding ahead of time what you want. It's about being a conscious creator, right? So I would recommend starting with any of these 5, but having so much fun with them and looking at them, right? And keeping that around you, keeping that intentional creation energy around you so that you can keep reminding your brain where you're going. It doesn't have to be something that you're always looking at or always reminding yourself, but I'm saying keep it around. If you have a vision board, look at it, right? Look at it on a daily basis. Just glance at it. That's all you have to do. If you have a manifestation journal, get it out at least every couple of days and write in it. If you have an ideal scenario, reread it again. Feel the energy of it. Just surround yourself with this stuff. And I'm telling you, you will be 50% of the way there. Just intending, right? Just like with a garden, if you plant seeds, you're 50% of the way there. Are you all the way there? No, you have to take care of your garden. You got to water that garden. You got to nourish that garden. It needs sunshine and all of the things. So of course, your goals and your desires are going to need cultivation. They're going to need nourishment. They're going to need attention and energy and action put towards them. But the first most important step is deciding where you're going and claiming it. It makes all the difference. So I highly recommend it. And I would love to hear from you as you get started on your manifestation journey, which one you practice, which one you're going to try out, and how it feels afterwards. You are always welcome to send me a picture of your vision board or tell me something that's on your bucket list or share a win with me. I love, love, love to hear it all. It is so much fun. I love you all. I love being a part of this community and sharing all of this goodness. And I hope this is helpful. I hope, just like for me, this also helps you with your energy and with your mental health and just something to have fun with. This is just a positive thing to bring into your life. So enjoy and happy manifesting. Hey, thanks for listening. I hope this episode is something that you'll be able to add to your manifestation toolbox to come back to when you need a little extra motivation. If you like what you've heard today and want to take it deeper, you've got to come check out my signature coaching program, the Money Manifestation Movement. It's the place where you'll not only learn manifestation, but you'll begin to live it alongside me and an amazing community of like-minded entrepreneurs doing this work together. Head on over to jamieberman.com to learn more.